Do you know that kid? The one at school that no one talks to? The one everyone calls dorky and doesn't have any friends? Kind of clumsy? You might also know that there are others that pick on these kids. You know what I'm talking about, right? Well, I was that kid that was being bullied and teased. I had tons of anxiety, no self-confidence, the whole deal. I was physically uncoordinated and had zero social skills. As a result, I had no friends, trouble focusing in school, and was picked on all the time. Worst of all, there was no way I was going to get over these things because I didn't even understand how badly I was being treated. Everything was a struggle. If someone told you that kid, with all of these things working against him, and I will go into more detail in a few seconds about these things, could be a high honor student, self-employed as a DJ, and standing here giving this TED Talk to all of you, would you believe them? You would have to be very optimistic to do so. I certainly would not have, and neither would my parents. But here I am. My name is Dominik, I am 14 years old, and this is my story. At age 7, I was diagnosed with executive functioning disorder and Tourettes Syndrome. Here is a list of my official diagnoses from my doctor at Tufts Medical Center. The Mayo Clinic states that executive functioning is coordinating your brain's resources to accomplish a task. I needed a calendar plan to tell me what to do every day, because otherwise I would not be able to understand what was asked of me and how to go about whatever it was that I needed to accomplish for that day. I also mentioned Tourette's Syndrome, a problem with the nervous system that causes tics you can't control. Not the same type you see on movies or TV where people are swearing and yelling obscenities all the time, though. My tics, or symptoms of Tourette's, including throat clearing, excessive blinking, and tensing of my face and leg muscles. I also had a very noticeable stutter. These tics interfered with my everyday life and furthered other kids' cases for me being weird. Now, these are some of the results from a test I took on pragmatic language usage. I was the equivalent of less than a 6-year-old in this category, and keep in mind that I was 7 years old at this point. This means that I was not able to properly communicate in most social situations. I didn't have any motivation to do anything special or anything at all, really. To emphasize, my grandparents were visiting one day and asked if I wanted to go out for pizza or ice cream. These were things I did not get very often, and yet my response was, and I quote, what kind of kid would say that to junk food? Now, you should have a complete picture of what a mess I was. So, you are presumably wondering how on earth I got here to this point. The simple answer is joining the cross-country running team. That happened in 4th grade when my parents forced me to choose a sport to play. Typical of me, I didn't choose. The only reason I ended up joining was at the end of August, I was told that I needed to pick one right now. So I said, whatever, and chose cross country. So, I went to practice, and you're thinking that this is the moment where everything starts to go right for me, right? Wrong. I hated it, it was hard, and I was one of the slowest kids on the team, so I still got picked on. I continued to do it though, and by the beginning of 6th grade, I started to improve. At one of my races, I noticed that my time was slower than my last race. So I said, hey, I've got to fix this. It didn't make me feel good when I went slower. I started to try harder and improve as a result. At this point, I was feeling a bit more confident about myself, and I had more friends. At state championships at the end of the season, I got a personal record time of 15 minutes and 45 seconds for 1.89 miles. It may not be as fast as Usain Bolt, but it was a great time for me, beating my previous time by almost 3 minutes. I noticed that I had more friends, wasn't picked on as much anymore, because it didn't bother me as much as I felt good about myself. What I didn't notice was that my tics were almost obsolete at this point. What is happening here is called intrinsic motivation. I was running faster because I wanted to, not because my mom was forcing me or because there was some kind of external reward or punishment involved, but because of the sheer fact that I wanted to do better. That is intrinsic motivation. This motivation developed from the boost in self-confidence I received, and in turn, I was having an easier time socially and doing better in school. Running was something I looked forward to every day after my last class. By 8th grade, no one noticed my tics because there were none, and I was the number 3 runner on my team of 25, and I was elected as one of 4 captains. At this point, I started to figure out the connection between running and my social successes. I conducted a bit of research, and it turns out that running does so many things for you. Endorphins released by exercise help kids be more focused, more creative, and less stressed. Exercise can help reduce tic severity because you have less anxiousness to fuel them. Besides, it keeps me in shape, healthy, energized, and it's fun. According to a study by the University of Kansas, more than 97% of high school student athletes graduate high school. That's almost 10% higher than students who have never played sports at all. Cool, right? The team aspect also helped me a lot. It helped me feel more comfortable talking to people I've never met before. I've been on multiple teams, and I've had to adapt to all of the different environments. Edutopia.org says that team sports help reinforce the 5 C's: confidence, competence, connections, caring, and character. These 5 C's assist in building self-esteem. Self-esteem creates courage, and courage in turn aids you in social interactions and relationships. Now, do I still struggle with anxiety? Yes. Do I still have executive functioning issues and Tourettes Syndrome? Yes. Am I the best conversationalist and socializer, if you will, out there? No. But I am doing pretty well considering where I came from. All of the research shows that running and team sports build confidence and social skills, and I am living proof of it. In short, because my parents made me do cross country, I am now more confident in myself, have more friends, have started my own DJ business, and am a high honors student, and in shape. I was once a dorky kid without friends or self-confidence, and I am now giving this TED Talk to all of you. All I had to do was join the 4th grade cross-country team to set me on the road I am on today. Team sports truly can help kids develop socially and physically. Now that is an idea worth sharing.